Today, I'm lucky enough to have Miranda with me. Miranda's the mother of Issy, an 11-year-old girl who lives with type 1 diabetes. So Miranda, thanks for joining us. How's your family coping during this period?
Well, I guess like most people, it was a bit of a shock at first, and it was a bit hard at the start. It's got better. You know, we've had good and bad days, like most people.
It's pretty tough living with diabetes at the best of time. You know, it's 24/7, 365 days a year, really, for everyone in the family when you've got a child who has type 1 diabetes. But what elements of diabetes or managing diabetes have been made harder, do you think, during this COVID time?
Well, I think diabetes loves routine.
Yeah.
So that's been probably the biggest thing. Is at school, we just got to the stage at school where we had kind of, I was going to say nailed Issy's boluses and basals and stuff like that, but I don't know if you ever really nail it. But we had got it to a point where, you know, it was working. We'd done some tweaking and it had started going well. And then she was, you know, off school and the routine was kind of out the window. So that's probably been the trickiest thing because of the timing of school recess and lunch and everything. We've had to just change on her pump. She's on a pump, so we've had to change all the settings and everything. But also, I think the lack of exercise. So that was one of the main things. We had to change all of the basal rates on her pump because just not doing the same sort of activity all day. At first, they were loving the whole just staying at home, sitting down. And I think at school, they get up and walk between classes a lot more and that sort of thing, whereas at first they weren't doing any of that stuff. So the first day of our isolation was actually Issy's virtual clinic with our endo at PCH. So we put a homeschool, we called it, on her pump, a homeschool profile, and he wanted us to up her basal across the board anyway. So we did that, and that seemed to really work well. But then she'd go out and jump on the trampoline for an hour and just come crashing down, you know, into a hypo. And, you know, so that's been tricky, is just trying to juggle that stuff.
I think you've just highlighted one of the big challenges of diabetes. It doesn't matter how, and it sounds like you guys are doing a great job, it doesn't matter how well you get things sorted. No hour is the same as the following hour and no day is the same as the following day. So it's incredibly frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, it can be.
So Miranda, it sounds like as a family you're doing a great job managing with the adjustment to the COVID life and living with diabetes. Have you got any tips that you could give other families living with diabetes that you guys have adopted to make it easier?
I think really it's just that routine. It's just trying to have the routine. We found at first, like I said, that the kind of routine just went out the window. But by the second week, I was saying, you know, like if we can just have after breakfast, let's not have anything until 10:30, because that's when you would normally have been having, or around then, when you'd normally be having recess. But I also think just keeping the exercise up, not just your type 1, but obviously as a family, because that just encourages everyone to keep moving. And it is so tempting to just sit down all day when you're sort of, you know, isolated to your home, but you are still allowed to go out. So while we're still allowed to go out and go for walks as a family group, or, you know, a couple of us at a time or whatever, you know, I think it's important to do that. And the kids, you know, constantly sending them outside to go on the trampoline, or, you know, Issy has some dance classes that they've changed to Zoom classes or videos or whatever. So getting her to still try and be involved in that. And also, I would really recommend people that have the opportunity to get a CGM, because that's actually been really helpful for us when Issy's out on the trampoline and just, you know, like I was saying before, she's had all her basals adjusted and then she has a really active day out of the blue. It can be a bit frustrating, but having the CGM allows us to see her levels tracking down, and we can kind of take evasive action before anything too bad happens. So we're finding that's really helpful, being able to just jump in, give her some glucose, she can keep playing. Yeah, so that's really fun.
I just wanted to thank you, Miranda, and Issy for sharing both your journey during this time, made more challenging by living with diabetes, and also your tips to share with other families. So thank you.